What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast this week. It's going to be the usual dudes this time. No interruptions, maybe. With Colin of Team ARG. What's up, man?
What's up? How's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. And Hobo Joe of Joe's Hobo Corner.
Yep, pretty much. It's pretty cold over here. So
Play a lot of Force of Will?
What?
You played a lot of Force of Will recently.
Oh yeah, no, I've been grinding in the Force of Will scene.
Teach your girlfriend yet how to play and about the game yet? Maybe bring some old decks out.
Definitely, I've been doing all of that. That's been me.
Yeah.
Oscar doesn't stream with me, so I don't have to play Force of Will with.
I haven't wanted to stream, to be honest. That's a whole other story. But anyways, as usual, the podcast is brought to us, as many things are, by Happy Little Hug Factory. You guys want to visit them in the link description below. And you can pick up some singles or maybe get rid of some cards you're looking to let go of. And special cool stuff coming up soon. I think we'll have a video coming out at some point, right?
So it already would have come out. So if you guys missed it, we did a box opening of Vingo 3 provided by Happy Little Hug Factory. And both... if you guys want, go check out that video, and in the description is a link to a giveaway. And that box we open up, we're just giving it away to within the continental US to whoever wins that giveaway. And so yeah, and that includes all the holos, everything pulled. So it was a brand new sealed box and stuff. So be sure to check that out. If you don't win, or if you want one right now, be sure to check out Happy Little Hug Factory by clicking the link in the description. They were able to get a hold of Vingo 3 boxes, so that's why they gave us that box to sort of help promote it. And they're selling them for, I believe, $90 a piece, which if you look at the English print prices, that's much cheaper than anyone else selling at this point in time. And they were able to get a little bit more in, so they were first initially only able to get several in, but he was able to secure some more. So make sure you go and grab those before they sell out, which probably won't take too long, because that's a really, like I mentioned in our box opening, it's probably my favorite set of anything that Force of Will has done, even to this day. So click that link in the description so that they know we sent you over if you plan on getting one of those.
Yeah, and I mentioned in the video, I mentioned in the video, but I feel like that's a great sealed product just to build some decks out of within its set. Like the way they had apparently designed Vingolf to be that we were really aware of, but
yeah, and I don't know if I said it in the video or if it was after the Oscar, but I was doing the math in my head, and just it wasn't, without even counting all the cards, just the couple of the notable ones that I knew of inside of there, I hit that $90 mark pretty quickly. So it's still, even to this day, even with all the reprints and promos of all the different cards, it still held its value really well. Wow. So yeah.
Did Vingoff 3 I didn't realize. I knew it was in demand and really expensive, but I didn't know it was that expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The English boxes you find anywhere else, like on eBay, are going for about $400. If you look on TCG Player, the cheapest box is in the 200s, and that's a German print run of it. So,
yeah, there was one that was cheaper, but it wasn't English. I forget which language it was. That was the only one that I saw that was cheaper than $90, but it wasn't English.
Yeah. But anyways, also to Happy Little Hug, to the patrons over at patreon.com/TCGscrubs. I get so confused in my intros. Those guys over there got a cool podcast last week. So we were originally doing our podcast where we were going to go over some of the GP results and things like that. It got cut short because Jeff joined us and kind of went over some of the information that had just been revealed for the week. But
for almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long one. And so if you guys want to check out kind of that stuff in our other patron podcasts, which we usually record before or after the main podcast, going over some kind of special editions, you can go check that out. And that's over on patreon.com/TCGscrubs. And that's about it, I think, for intros. So jumping into it for the week so far, we played today at our locals. We had a turnout of 6, pretty cool, and we did a little tournament. Yeah. Colin won. What deck did you play, Colin?
I played Arthur Machines.
Yeah,
which was a lot of fun. It was just I kept losing track, but it's just really cool when the deck is firing on all cylinders and having the field card out that buffs your stuff and they get a counter when they enter, and I run the field card where it gets a counter each time you play Water Resonator. You remove 2 counters to give something better against chance. And so you have all that, and you combine that with Vivian and Guinevere and Lancelot, and you just it's easy. Several times I lost track of counters, and I know I forgot to put counters on stuff just because there was so much going on. But the deck is a lot of fun to run. After playing it though, I could see some stuff I needed to take out and change. I went the entire day undefeated, didn't lose a single round, so I was pretty happy.
That's pretty good. Wasn't that supposed to be the big epic stories day? For locals
it was if not enough people showed up, it was going to be epic stories. So if less than 6 people showed up, it was going to be that, and exactly 6 people were there, which was funny because the 2 normals that were going to come and do epic stories actually something came up and they couldn't attend, but 2 completely brand new people showed up instead. So it worked out in its own right. So and I definitely didn't stay up till 5 a.m. building epic stories deck or anything. So it's cool.
Was this cluster only then, or
New Frontiers?
New Frontiers.
Okay. Nice. That's
and
crazy.
I played Lucifer. Didn't do as well. I think it finished at 4th out of the 6. I think it's funny that I had built the Lucifer deck where it was like the Faith and Darkness, right? I was like, oh no, I like it. Colin's like, yeah, but what have you missed? I'm like, yeah, but I missed once. I missed all day today. I think I landed one. And every time I missed, I was like,
It's statistical probability. You're gonna miss when you're at like matters most.
Yeah.
Like you never miss when you were just like dicking around in my room, but when you're actually at the locals, you're gonna miss.
Listen, I've never missed at some of the other locals we've gone to. This is like the first time where all of them just missed. And I was like, he cursed me.
Someone skipped to statistics at math class. Jeez.
Listen, I'm not good at math. Period. I have struggled with math. Like so, you remind me.
You remind me of the pitch meetings where they're like, "What? That doesn't add up." You're like, "Math is hard." That's what you remind me of.
Pretty much. But no, we've had math situations where I'm like, yeah, no, cool, 89. You're like, what? What? That's 32. I'm like, yeah, I don't count. You do that.
I was actually thinking of the whole Black Panther thing, except he's like the whole
any day.
Sorry. Never mind. No. Just ignore it.
All right. Anyways, so we finished. Got some packs for the promo pricing. Promos came in, and I was able to finally get some cool new promos that we hadn't gotten in a while. We had 2 packs to go through, so I grabbed this one, which is Invitation, and then
nice.
Boom! I got two Arendites.
Nice.
Which these are $5 through core TCG right now on TCG Player, and the next seller jumps to $10.
Wow. Well, I got 3 of those apparently.
I got 3 for you, because I knew you would want them. Yeah.
I'm trying to blame out my machine deck. So is that more expensive than the Forward, or is the Forward still more?
We already closed tabs, so I have no idea. I can easily open it in 2 seconds. Boom, Erendite. Full art. Oh no, it's defaulting to the. I clicked on it. Anyways, I don't know. I'm sure people have looked it up already and can tell us in the comments.
But, yeah, no, it was. I had fun. It was nice playing against different decks. I played against Kirik and Shayla. I was happy I didn't play against Lucifer because both Oscar and someone else was running against Lucifer, and I was like, I just want to play the cards in my hand, guys. And I didn't play against them, and I was like, yeah. I
gotta tell you, it was amazing. I played Lee, who I built him a Shayla deck. Real quick, full art's going for $3. So it's cheaper. But anyways, I built Lee a Shayla deck, and it was pretty gross. But playing against him in game 1 is like cool. Not look corruption. What's the other one?
Thought control.
Thought control. You know, next turn thought control, random discard. Next turn I'm like cool. Thought control. Look at corruption. Look at corruption. Like awakened or something. I forget how many stones I had. I had enough to awaken it at one point. So it's like he's like cool. Just top deck mode at that point. It was crazy.
And he still won.
Oh yeah, no, he recovered pretty quickly. And I couldn't stop Mr. Dragon. It's really hard.
Yeah, no, Mr. Dragon's pretty annoying.
I told you guys it'd be good back when we first got it.
It's
just I don't know. It's like nobody ever thought about it until I guess.
I think the format just had to slow down enough to make it relevant.
Yeah,
is what it really was. And right now it's a perfect moment. Just drop 4 to pay it now. Yeah, no, it's good because he swings in, cool, flicker it, in turn recovers it, so it's ready to block next turn or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But so that's locals news and updates on how things are going for us. And I think we wanted to discuss one other thing before getting to the GP results for Sydney, and that was going to be the date change again for the next set, which is called was it Awakening of the Ancients? So originally it was going to come out it was April, the last weekend of April, because it was going to pair up on pre-release with Magic's pre-release, which I remember we talked about last time was like a issue for some people because some said that their store, being a Magic store, would not run the Force of Will event, period. And ours had an issue because our locals is like she's slammed. She works the entire weekend on pre-release. So luckily it was pushed back, but also it was pushed back. So now it's coming out at the end of May, if I'm right, or third week of May.
And real quick, that original one that the pre-release landed on, Santa's Magic, was already a pushback from what everyone assumed the original release date was, based on the posters at least, was it pushed back at least 1 to 2 weeks. And so we got another pushback of, what is this, 2 weeks, I think? 2-3 weeks?
About 2 or 3. I don't know the exact dates to remember. I just remember it was like May 20-something. And it was also landing on the weekend of the Minnesota GP in Northfield.
Yeah.
Which was cool because
so now
Games of Geek was like ready to cater to that.
Yeah, which sucks because I was actually kind of looking forward to that playing pre-release there and then doing the tournament. I thought that was, or whatever order that is, I thought that was going to be super fun, like a giant pre-release. So hopefully she didn't like order a bunch of extra boxes assuming that. But now the pre-release happens on the date of a different WGPQ, but it won't be as impactful as the Minnesota one it originally landed on. But I mean, it's nice it's no longer on the Magic pre-release.
Yeah,
if we're looking for a positive.
Because I mean that was the main issue I was looking at is it landing on that weekend and how we would end up playing. Like we'd probably have to go like Thursday night or whatever, or the next Monday night just to play it because we would totally be turned around for the weekend.
Yeah. I'm curious, like if this will actually, because I don't know how things work, if pre-orders have already closed for the pre-release kit, pre-orders, but the orders for pre-release kits have already closed, or if they're still open, if stores have ordered it, assuming the other date, but now this date, maybe they're running, I don't know, a Dragon Ball tournament. I don't know. There's a lot of card games that have different stuff, and stores usually plan that out pretty far ahead if this messes any of them up, especially because it was all of a sudden just like, here's this change with like no warning that we can tell, and different things like that. So, and once again, we don't know why it's not like we'll ever find out anything now, but we don't know why the change. Although it's probably safe to assume it's probably something to do with like the printers, and because Oscar had made a good point about how they do that.
What was the point I made? I don't remember this anymore.
About Jeff.
Oh, that usually in past like conversations, either when Jeff had Q&As or when Jordan would do Q&As, it always sounded like the next set was generally near completion, if not complete, and they were working on the next set after that. And from the sound of the way Jeff had worded things in the last podcast where we had him, it sounded like he was like, yeah, we were working on this next set, and I didn't touch all of it, or maybe it's not even near completion. So it sounded like it was not even completed and being worked on yet, and then usually you have to already send that to the printer, and like reserve dates and whatnot, right? Like, so because they're printers, but they're not printers just for Force of Will. They're printers for dozens of other things that exist out there. Probably not even just card games, but different things.
Yeah, it's like if you go and walk down to your local Office Depot and place an order for business cards, you have to get back in line with everyone else unless you've booked something ahead of time, and so that's just an idea of a small scale. So when you got a factory that's dedicated to that, they're gonna, in order for them to stay in business, they have to constantly have these big orders flowing in. So you have to make sure you're got everything in order. And with all this change, and we don't know how sudden all this was, but with Iji going and Jeff going and stuff like that, we don't know how in order everything is. Like as far as like their access to different things or how everything's organized. And this could have been a defaulted thing of like, hey, we shifted gears, we're now new management, we're going to push everything back to give us cushion. That's one thing, but I feel like that would have happened back at the beginning of February. So it feels weird that they pushed the release date back initially, and then it was pushed back a second time. I thought it was kind of weird that it happened twice instead of just the initial first time when the change happened.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I was thinking like there's a lot of theory crafting we can do about that. Like it could just be that the company works slow. It could be that maybe they're reevaluating cards they want to do for like the next set, so they want that cushion to like almost redesign other cards. Maybe Jeff wanted to go one way and then they're now they're going another way. There's a lot of possibilities. Sorry.
That's essentially what I was going to say. Is like there's a million different things that we could assume it is, but there's no telling. And we'll see how it goes. Like hopefully it doesn't get pushed back any further and we get that next set sometime soon, because definitely be fun to do some pre-release and some drafts and whatnot.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
this
probably
also
definitely
pushes
better.
All the other sets back, so that list we went over is probably not accurate anymore.
Interesting part is too is no, it doesn't. No, that's fine. Never mind.
I think it affects Worlds now. I think did it? I don't know if this changes Worlds again.
Do we even know when Worlds is, or are people just assuming it's going to be at the same point in time it's been every year?
I think no matter where it is now, there's almost no way to do Worlds in the format not be changed wherever it lands, because I guess they could push it so it lines up and be the same as before, but I don't see them doing it.
Even before the second pushback with the original one, the fourth set was still releasing when Worlds would be happening, which means it wouldn't not have been a normal Worlds period.
Yeah. Because I mean they know because they've already booked the venue, so they have to be planning around it, but they also booked that before they push these dates back, so we'll see.
Just be new frontiers.
I did want to say that like it probably is better that they push it back like out of Magic's pre-release, because it's kind of it's like when like one of the like a huge blockbuster tries to compete with, or like a small movie tries to compete with like a blockbuster coming out on the same week. Like they just get blown out, and
it was weird that it was there to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think it's like when you have a lot of players who may have come over from like Rudy videos or any other Magic player videos, like some of them might just be dabbling in Forcible and not really like dedicated to it. So when it comes to like which one do I pick, they're probably obviously going to pick Magic. But it's as much as we know for that. So the GP. So we had a Sydney GP come up this. I didn't even pull up links for any of us, so good luck finding those guys.
So are we only talking about Sydney GP since we talked about the other ones on the Patreon podcast, or do we want to like
we
go back over?
Already talked about the other ones.
Okay, cool.
You guys want to hear our thoughts on those? It's on Patreon. It's mini podcast, but it was I think almost an hour long because we talked about the GP
it went for quite a bit.
Two different ones. It's available to all the patrons, even just the $1 ones.
Yeah. So Sydney GP took place over the weekend, and this one had a ruler breakdown of 28 players: 6 Lucifer, 4 Kirik, 4 Hanzo, 3 Brunhild, 3 Gil, 2 Fuji, and 2 Shayla, Rhea, Time Spinning Witch, Tigress, and Ayu. Getting in the top 8 was 3 of the Gils, which is all 3 of the Gils that showed up: Tigress, Brunhild, Ayu, Lucifer, and Shayla.
The one Tigress that showed up made it into top 8.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I thought was awesome. The one Ayu that played made it into top 8. And only 1 out of the 6 Lucifers made it in top 8, which is pretty interesting, and 1 out of the 2 Shaylas. So that's a pretty interesting thing.
I think
going...
Is this the first time Shayla's top 8'd at all?
Yeah, I think last one she got somewhere in top 16 at Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I might be wrong. But going in,
this is her first top 8 at any point.
Unfortunately, going in the top 4, it was the 3 Gils versus the Brunhild.
Yeah.
And as far as I've seen, I believe the Brunhild ended up winning.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay, so are we going over the list?
Yeah.
Do you want to start with just top to bottom?
Yeah.
Gil first.
So this top to bottom is the listing after Swiss, 1st through
The Gil deck seems pretty common, except for
Yeah,
actually his Stone deck was pretty crazy.
Yeah, Stone deck's weird. Especially, it's going to feel bad if he does a turn 1 Darkness Stone.
Well, yeah. But obviously, the plan's just to get the, what's it called, Approaching Truth. Just pluck out that black stone so you don't have to worry about it later.
Yeah. Well, and... Hold on. What are you talking about? Approaching the Truth?
Approaching Truth, it's 2 costs.
Absolute awareness.
Greens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking about, but I was like... Wait, what? Yeah.
But yeah, the playset of the Gil Resonator, the 4 cost. And also, there's a link in the description if you guys want to follow along here with what we're talking about, in case it's not on the screen. But even if it's on the screen, it's easier to read on the article. And we'll be going in
it's
order.
a lot better. If Oscar actually put it under a category, it'd be nicer though.
It is. It's in top 8.
It's not in the season 5 of top 8.
If you guys are watching this video and go to the season 8 and top 8. Sorry, season 5, top 8, you'll see it right there.
It might be now that Oscar's changed it already.
Well, first of all, it's routine. I don't do it till Monday, so I don't even know why Joey's bringing this up right now.
It annoys me.
Yeah, I give links everywhere. Twitter, Facebook.
The 4 Gil Resonators are interesting. I feel like that's not too common, is running a full playset of those Gil Resonators.
I mean, he's still like a amazing resonator. Like,
oh yeah,
it definitely makes sense that he's running the 4, but it's like, I actually think it's super clever that he's doing the 19 Wind Stones and the 1 Darkness Magic Stone, and he only gets the darkness through the Absolute Awareness. Like, it gives you like, a 5% chance to get a Darkness Magic Stone on your first draw. Am I right with that?
Was there 20? 1 out of 20 is a 5. Yeah, 5%.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure there's other exponential math involved, but 5% is the big.
That's like it's just like it's almost guaranteed that your first stone isn't going to be that Darkness Magic Stone, and then eventually you'll hit that Absolute Awareness, and then you'll be able to play your Gil Lapis Resonators.
Real quick,
super clever that.
Almost guaranteed net it. It is like
obviously.
Just want to point out, I'm just saying, if you were buying a car and they're like, yeah, this car has a 95% like safety rating. It's like 5% becomes a really big number. Like it's a lot bigger than you think.
I agree. I wouldn't. It's very ballsy that he took this. Well, I wouldn't say that ballsy, but like, and it's not like the end of the world if you pull a darkness your first turn. But
yeah, but it's just because he does have the void
super clever though
inheritance, which he can buffer until he can pull the correct stuff.
It's just like that's just a super clever way to load the stone deck and like a clever way to actually play your Gil Lapis Resonators.
Clever girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's and I like the Rival of the Heroes as well. It's a nice little inclusion. 45 cards also point out that.
Well, I think since you're milling every turn while you're on your roller side, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I just don't know is that common? I feel like Gil's usually ran like 42, 43. But I feel like
42, I think, is what we had seen on the ones from like Vegas or Games and Geeks tournament. But 45 was definitely something different. They went a few cards extra.
Yeah, I mean, it's I feel like there's so many people who have different ideas on what they want to do. Like this guy obviously felt like 45 was a safer bet for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a heads up now. I think with exception of like maybe one card, all the guild lists are identical in top 8.
Okay, I kind of thought that because like all 3 of them got top 8, so I figured there would probably be a team, and they've just ran the same list, and that's why I did. They played. Next
up is the Brunhild list, which a lot of these are going to be like pretty much identical to what we saw in Vegas coming over. If there's changes, it's real subtle changes.
Yeah.
Did we see the Brunhild list that ran gems?
Yeah.
Okay,
we did.
So
what does Bethor do? What's that angel do?
I already forget it. It's something with flying, and it does an additional thing. I'll pull it up.
Oscar,
it's a flying angel. Oscar?
I don't run it, okay? So yeah, 2 cost, 5/5 flyer. When this card is put into a graveyard or put into the graveyard from the field, draw a card.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in case people don't know, so it runs gems. It runs the 4 gem stones to give you light gems, as well as gem out will give you a gem. So you can tap gem out to produce will, either 1 will or 3 will, or 2 will, depending on how many gems you banish. And also you have Zinzane, the prince, and so his main thing is whenever you gain life, you can banish a light gem or something like that, and he'll deal damage to a resonator equal to the amount of life you gain. So you run that with your Sword Divine, I forget the name of it. Let me scroll up and see what it's called. Spear of the Valkyries. You run it with maybe the life gain in your rune deck. It looks like he's got the 800 life card, perhaps. And everything's like that. So you're gaining life, and then you just real quick banish a gem, and you're doing damage. So you get it basically for free, since banishing a gem doesn't cost you any will. You get free damage out of your life gain as well. So there's more utility than just like buffing yourself up.
Does okay, so a couple questions I had. Do the Brunhilds usually main deck miscalculation? Or do they usually like side deck it?
I don't know if Miscalc is usually main deck.
It's usually side.
Okay. Second of all,
Flourishing Hope
I didn't realize that they run the 4 ore from the treasure mountain.
Oh wait!
In order to get the extra.
Miscalc's not main decked in this one. Miscalc is
right.
side. Okay.
That's why I was asking, because like
okay,
it seemed odd that it wasn't main decked, since it's I think it's such a great card.
Yeah,
but
I think I had heard listen to Ruler School's podcast that Brandon had excused it as a Keurig answer. So most decks or Brunhilds will only side in when going against.
Side into Keurig. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, especially with Blade of Faith, like they can answer stuff that's not coming out turn 1 and like be more reactionary.
I like the Raw on the sideboard as well.
Yeah.
Raw the Golden Bird. I really like that card, and I wish it saw more play, just because I don't know if it's good, but I like it.
I'm curious, like, what you bring that into. Like, obviously, you have Raw, and then they have the Winds of Gold, which is his card. So, like, you know, I'm just curious, like, what they end up bringing that in versus. But yeah, like Colin made a good point that I don't think we had mentioned on the Patreon podcast, or at least I didn't hear about it, was they're running the 4 stones that give you a gem, which like makes Gem Mallet Panda like an actually like super good mana generator.
Yeah, if you add in all it doesn't run Discovery, which I feel like the other ones might have, but it with the gem mallets with the stones, that's 8 gems right there. So that's, you know, potentially either 8 will produced at some point of light will at least, or with the gem mallets that's 4 will of any color, or 8 different instances of you gaining life and doing damage, assuming I remember Zinzane correctly.
Right. And like sorry.
I'll say real quick, the other decks did not run Discovery. It was one of the Tigris decks that happened to run Discovery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the other decks, since I assume you're there, did they run main board miscalculation?
No, they didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's like pretty much a thing ever since I heard Brandon talk about it, like just straight up sideboarded.
Yeah. Like and like even just like flipping one ore gives you like 1 extra gem. And then once Gem Mallet Panda comes in, he's basically like a 1-cost mana dork that produces 2 will, and like that's already just super insane.
You need 3 gems in order for him to produce 2 will. You need 3 gems to produce 2 will at once.
Okay, I didn't realize.
But other than that, he just produces 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is really good. Also, Gem Mallet Panda gets to produce any color will, right? Like
whatever color the gem is. Yeah. So when Gem Mallet produces any color gem he wants, but the gemstones only produce light gems, which would only be light will.
Right. But like I'm saying, like if you play Gem Mallet Panda, you can give yourself a darkness gem, and then he can produce darkness will.
Yeah, that's what I do in my Panda deck. They run Flourishing Hope. In order to play the other side of Flourishing Hope, I defer that to my Gem Melt Pandas with Darkness Gems.
It's super clever.
Which looks like kind of what they do, at least. Well, no, because they got the stones that flippy flip. So.
Well, it's super interesting. I think it was the other Tigris list that ran like Flourishing Hopes and stuff. because it was black on the other side. Like, and I don't know, it's just super cool. And then obviously they have the Orphica and
Mistletoe?
Yeah.
Air. No, sorry, Air. The Orphica and Air combo, which is like I think it's just such a crazy tech.
So next list, which is funny to look at the next list because it feels like there's not that many cards in it.
Yeah, because they're all one-ups. I'll be honest, because I'm the one who has to put all these lists together, and I share them in all the groups, but I hate when I have to do IU lists. There's so many cards.
We appreciate you, Oscar. I appreciate it a lot.
Interesting thing in this one is it was a 6-card sideboard.
Yeah,
I need 6. I don't need the whole 50.
Anything different you can see, Oscar, here?
I mean, what's the first card? It's Cleansing Rain. I feel like it's one that's not usually in an IU deck. At least not any of the ones I've seen recently. Winds of Gold, Lightning Cave. The one that's for your machine deck. What's it called?
Erendite?
No. Skyfall?
Skyfall.
Yeah. And then Confinement.
Skyfall's in the main deck?
Yeah. Interesting. Main phase speed bounce. Okay. It's still only 1 cost.
But that's really the only ones I can immediately point out and notice there's something different. I see one more. It's green. Gentle Breeze Elemental is in here.
No.
But I think these are just replacement draws since the last time I've focused on a IU list, which was last New Frontiers format. So
I'm super surprised about a couple of those options.
Like which ones?
Well, just basically the ones like Skyfall and Gentle Breeze Elemental. I feel like Gentle Breeze Elemental could have just been Approaching the Truth, right? Because they do the same thing.
Just draws a card.
Am I crazy? Yeah, but Approaching the Truth lets you look at the top 2, right?
Yeah. You pick one, discard
That's what
one.
I'm kind of like, huh?
You pick one and discard the other.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, you don't discard with Approaching.
Okay, I'm getting confusing cards then.
That's why I'm like, why wouldn't you just play Approaching the Truth? Is it because it's an elemental? But then I don't know.
Approaching is like the top 2 cards and put any number on the top or bottom of your deck and then draw a card.
Okay.
Is it quick cast though?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't know.
Yeah,
and then Gentle Breeze is just draw a card, right? It's got to be something that they wanted, the multiple elemental.
Maybe they have something that
so that they can
elementals again. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking you can grab Lorite back, but I don't even think there's 3 elemental cards in here that can do that.
Well, they have that one. They also have the blue one in the top left. Blue leaf. Or is that an elemental?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Blue
so they just need a 3rd one, which would be...
They do have a light elemental in the bottom right.
So that's probably why.
They have 3, yeah. That'll bring back a Lorite at least once. Maybe it's so that when they deactivate and they're milling, they can hit those 3 in their deck, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
It's just so weird to think about where these guys' heads are at when they're making this. I would have never thought about Gentle Breeze Elemental and putting that in.
So we'll skip over the Gil list because, like you said, it's pretty much the same. It's even got the 45 cards and the 20 card stone deck.
Yeah.
Next one I thought was interesting. So this was another Panda list, but it was very different than the ones that we saw in Vegas.
So let me ask you, because I feel like you had commented on this before. Different. They have rune decks, but no Divinity Ruler, not even in the sideboard. So what's the trick? Why do they do that? Isn't it it's a mind trick?
It's to psych them out to think you're going to side into Brunhild game 2.
Gotcha.
And so they start to prepare for that. And they're like, psych, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
So the couple interesting things about this off the bat. One, the most notable, all the Airs and Orphicas are on the sideboard. They didn't main deck them.
Oh, I was like, where's that combo? Are they just not even playing it? Yeah, but I didn't realize.
There's a 3/3 set of them in the sideboard. So I thought that was super interesting. The main deck is actually near identical to with the exception of the shimmers to the list I was doing right before SNV came out. If you look at this is pretty much all pre-SNV cards, or might even be pre-Valhalla cards. Yeah, I don't see anything that's post-New Valhalla in the main deck. So this is like an older, pretty much like an older deck, and then just the sideboard has some newer cards in it, which I thought was pretty funny, because it just runs the Rivals, the Raw, the Golden Birds, the Power Warriors, as well as both of the 1-cost Pandas, Zinzanes obviously, but it also runs the Quick Cast Panda, that's the 2-cost that presents 500 damage, which I really like because you could play it on your opponent's turn, not only to play Resonator on their turn that you can swing in with next turn and prevent 500 damage, but it also, you still get that gem generation. So you get a light gem on your turn for playing the Panda, and light gem on your opponent's turn for playing your Panda, so there's sort of a kind of a side benefit of it. And then they run the Resuscitating Will. Is that Resuscitating Will?
Yeah.
I always get that mixed up, which obviously is super great, especially on your ruler itself. Rose Quartz is a god, Jamallet, 4 Flourishing Hopes. So I feel like this is like your de facto, like what comes into my head when I think of a Panda deck is like this. And so
right,
I was pretty happy seeing this in the top 8.
There's no crazy fancy like alternate tech like with the whole air and Orphica stuff. It's just like this is Pandas and this is what they do. What does the Holy Prince's Nanny Citron do? Was that the one that prevents?
That's what I just told you.
Damage?
That's 2-cost quick cast when it enters prevents 500 damage. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
That's really the only one that's really odd out. I love that they're running Raw the Golden Bird also, because a Panda deck is the only deck I ran Raw the Golden Bird in that I felt it made sense. So that made me happy seeing that in here too. I still feel like Discovery is really good to have, but maybe that's just me. I really like the decks in Vegas with the extra draw power. I really like that because they had the Discoveries, but they also had the Panda that drew cards, and then they had Orphica blanking them to draw more cards if they wanted to, or like it felt like the draw power was really nice. And this has, with the exception of those 2 cards, pretty much 0 draw power that I can tell.
Yeah, I think you're pretty much right.
With the exception of Raw being targeted by stuff.
Yeah, I thought the Panda lists at Vegas were a little better too. But I mean, it's still very impressive that like a Panda made like 2 top 8s with different like.
Well, yeah, and this being the only one at the entire GP, and at the other one there was only 3 Pandas I think at the GP, and 2 of them were top 8. Last one was I think 9th place. I could be wrong, but it was in there. So. Yeah. I don't know why. Oh wait, I was about to say, why don't I run those Flippy Stones in my Panda deck? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have them. They're not on me. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I have an extra playset. I just found.
You have an extra playset?
Yeah. If anything, it's 3, which I think you have 1 of, right?
I don't know, man.
You told me.
I'll have to trade for those because I gotta just accept I'm never getting them.
Yeah.
It's like
speaking of Panda lists, by the way, just a plug for Rogues Guild. You can check them out on Twitch. They recently streamed. Is it Friday night? The entire gauntlet of this deck going against 5 other decks, and you can find them on Twitch. What?
I was just gonna ask, like spoiler to me and spoiler for people on watch. Did the deck win versus all 5 other the?
I didn't catch all of it. I only caught a little bit of it. And shout out to it's Joey who's streaming. Joey Schilling whose dad was in another room, I guess, playing guitar, and you could hear it. I was like, I heard it, and I was like, oh, nice, some background music. And then I think he realized he heard it. And he's like, I think my dad's like playing guitar. Hold on. But everybody was like cool with it, so they let it go. And I was like, oh, see, this is nice. So I like the way it's going.
That's really funny.
That's awesome.
I'm
sure their YouTube 5
or 6 hours.
I'm sure their YouTube channel has a link to their Twitch, and I'm sure they'll have the videos on there. I was going to, we got busy this week, but I'll message Joey and see if he'll come on and talk about the deck as well, because I'm curious to hear more about the thought process behind it. But going back to this deck though, so it was cool to see that.
Yeah, and then we go on another guild deck. We're gonna skip it as well. But shout out to Lachlan and Misha, because those are the 2 pilots of the other ones. We've looked at it already, but we're gonna move on.
I think I think this one was actually slightly different than.
Well, Stone Deck's
than,
clearly different.
Yeah, and like he was running like Lorite's Deletion Magic, which is something that not a lot of them do. I don't even know what a couple of these do. He's running like Karura, but yeah, so it's just slightly different cards. But you know, every deck maker like adds in those little flavor stuff that
they do what works for them.
Yeah. Then we get to Shayla.
Yeah, so here's the crazy exciting stuff. So Shayla.
Okay. Go on.
Misty Dragon Spirit's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's running Mega Thunderfish, but
so
not Giga Thunderfish.
Well, because I think when you run Giga, you're dedicated to the whole package. Like the one I built did have Giga, Mega, and just Thunderfish into it. And I mean, when I gave it to Lee, it worked out for him. But this one was just, I think it's leaning heavily on Misty Dragon. Is what it comes down to.
It's just, I always felt like Mega Thunderfish was like the one I personally thought was maybe not the weakest, but like I thought Giga Thunderfish is obviously like a huge game ender himself, and then like Thunderfish, I really like that he taps down stuff on your opponent's side of the field, and I thought that was super cool.
Yeah,
I don't even know what Mega Thunderfish does, honestly.
It gains, if it's thunder, like gains swiftness and
okay.
Fly. No, it's just swiftness.
Yeah, it's just swiftness.
Swiftness and +2.
Okay. Lightning Waterfowl. I don't know what that does.
I pulled
Lightning
that one.
Waterfowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I pulled that one because I was wondering what it did too. It's 3 costs, 8/8, flying. This card gains swiftness and barrier as long as one is thunderstorm.
That's cool because you can constantly pretty much make it thunderstorm at 80 points on response. You just make it thunderstorm to give it barrier. Plus, you do that when it first enters field to get it swiftness, and it's flying. So I can see that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, Shayla's Foresight is like a great draw.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, draw and bounce. I think it's crazy that only one lightning cave. I would expect at least a couple more. Especially when you're trying to make it thunder all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they do sideboard some more.
That's true.
Yeah, they sideboard too.
Because they probably are mainly running it for that first effect. So you don't want to run to play 3 of those and then go against another Shayla or Machine Deck or something like that and have the first effect be pointless.
They have Thunderstorm, which does the same thing, right?
No, Thunderstorm's crazier, especially with Thunder.
I was just like, no, Thunderstorm.
I got Thunderstormed earlier today, and it wipes the field.
Oh, is that the 5-cost one?
Yeah, that is.
That bounces everything.
Yeah, here it is. 5 costs. Chant Quick Cast. Return all resonators to their owner's hands. The weather is Thunderstorm. Their owners put them on the bottom of their decks in any order.
So
yeah,
that happened to me. So
same.
I was playing against a Shayla, and I today, and I literally had my field was like popping off. So
Dude,
I had.
I saw this.
I had Lancelot. I had a whole bunch of counters and stuff. I had Lancelot, Guinevere. The turn before, I Guinevered into Super Mobile Fortress to start his stuff, and I had like 2 or 3 of the field cards out, so they all had a bunch of counters on them. A couple other 1-drop machines, and then I just tapped Guinevere and brought in a second Super Mobile Fortress. So I had like 7 or 8 resonators, including those mobile fortresses and Lancelot and stuff like that. And then he played that, and so I just had to scoop them all and put them all at the bottom of my deck. And then the next turn,
hold on real quick. The funnier part of that scenario was like that happens, and Colin goes, "Does it target?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't target. Put them on the bottom of your deck." He had that other
just
blue
making
edition
sure. And then the next turn, I was like, "All right, god dang it, I." Without those big beefy things, I'll just judgment and see how it goes. And so I judgmented. God, I hate Arthur so much, man. I judgmented, looked at the top. I think it's, 5 cards?
5 cards, yeah.
Yeah, and I hit my other 2 Guineveres, which could have grabbed the mobile fortresses that were at the bottom of my deck. Plus I hit my Merlin, which could have searched out another resonator and all that stuff. I just hit all the good shit that I didn't want to get rid of.
Hey, but at least your Arthur was a 6/6.
He's a 5 and whatever his defense is. Plus to the field cards buffed him, but not enough. So I actually remember. So I didn't go undefeated. I did lose 1 game against Shayla, and then I got the other 2 or something like that. I forget, but because I lost that one. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, because I won 1. lost one, and then we tied the last one because we hit time. Now that I remembered, but yeah, so that was the theme.
Yeah, like I always thought Shayla had really good cards. Like think about it, like the Dragon Lord's Breath and Shayla's Foresight is like 8 copies of like bounce, and then like the Dragon Lord's Breath like is like better removal too, and you know it's and then the pathway part is actually it's actually like 12 instances of bouncing stuff back to your hand. Like that's pretty crazy. It's like super good tempo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
definitely cool that this
it's cool that made it top 8. I was happy to see that.
Oh, that was pretty awesome. Moving to the last list here, it is a Lucifer list. I'm going to point something out real quick that I'm not sure why Gacha does this sometimes, but if you look at the Estemas, there's 2 of them in the main, and then 1 of them on the bottom right of the main. Like, for some reason it separates them. I just noticed it did that.
Mm-hmm.
I just point that out in case y'all get mixed up, but I don't know if this is the same as the other ones. I know it's because of Athenia.
No,
I'm not sure if they run Athenia in the others.
I definitely didn't see Deadly Housefly in the last one. I don't
That's
think,
true,
right? Like as Deadly House, I didn't think he was.
I don't think we did. No, because I'm remembering another list we went over on a Patreon video with Deadly Housefly, I believe.
Yeah, Deadly Housefly. What is his stats?
He's
just 1/1.
He's like no. He's a. I'm actually getting him mixed up. I think with the Bane Rat.
Yeah, he's a 1/1.
He's a 1/1 flyer. Yeah.
What does he do?
So
whenever this card deals
he
damage
has
to it, he's Bane.
Okay. One more Bane flying is
that's not bad,
good.
but he also gets wreckety wrecked by Sandstorm.
It's true.
Yeah, but I don't think a lot of. I mean, yeah.
I don't think we saw much Sandstorm besides this deck that we're looking at now.
I don't.
Sandstorm in deck.
Sandstorm hasn't been really. Feels like it hasn't been played very often.
Well, I think in New Frontiers, no, because it's a lot of the targets you're normally hitting with it, people are running like Gem Out Panda instead of, say, Acolyte of the Sun, things like that.
Yeah, just like bigger stuff.
Yeah. So this is the one thing that it's probably hitting that we've looked at possibly this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I like this deck though. Like I like that
it runs the skeletons from the star deck.
It's running the Contract Demons, which I think are great. 3 of those, and then 3 Astemas, which are like super good drop power too. Yeah, he's
the vampire second row on the far right. That's one of the ones where the drain stacks.
Ooh,
it's not actually drain; it's gaining an ability,
Vampire?
but it essentially translates to drain.
Faithful Vampire, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is Oscar. Here's more fuel for Colin's argument. He's running the 4 Johns, but he's not running.
No Faith in Darkness.
No Faith in Darkness. Not even in the sideboard.
I mean, and even though he has enough like legal targets to warrant running it, he's not.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's taking up space to grab a Resonator when you could just be, and you're paying Will.
I feel
you could just have the Resonator.
But I feel like in the way my deck was, because I don't run this Majin Dark Elf, I instead ran Freyla. It's like I'd rather grab her with one of those cards as opposed to pay the 200 life to put her into play. Especially in a situation like today, I could have won a game by putting a Freyla into play, but I was at 200 life. It was a 200. I was 2 and he was at 3.
Dang.
So,
ooh, that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
I've actually got a deck that I should play against you, Colin. That's like, it's like all 2-cost Resonators and Faith in Darkness and stuff. It's like shenanigans, 2-cost shenanigans.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll see how many GPs you get, man.
So, any other comments on this deck, or is that about it?
No, I think everything looks, Oh, he's not running his Master Rune in the main deck.
Yeah. Some people just opt to not
That's
play
fair.
that.
I thought that card was so good. I don't know.
It's 3 costs, so it's okay. It at
But, like,
2
you
would have
steal
been a
their
lot
stuff.
better.
It's like you remove their dude and you get their dude.
Yeah.
You might steal their stuff, but
You,
you
like,
got things like
always steal their
barrier.
stuff.
Barrier stops it. Buffing it stops it.
I think
you could remove your. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of.
Yeah, I think the wording on it, you can target your own. So I think we were talking about targeting Athenia with it to help destroy more stones type situation. Isn't bad, but then you're like, I don't know. I feel like you might be depending on the gimmick at that point. You try to
that's
work
definitely
around
a gimmick.
So
it's interesting. I thought it was a good card, but
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's
people
bad. I think it's good
think it's
too.
fast
I only
enough.
run like I think 2 in mine, and I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see it being a ton.
Yeah.
But that's all we have for the GP over in Sydney. You guys, again, want to check that out, visit the website, tcgscrubs.com, link in the description below. And you can just follow the top 8 list to Season 5. And I know you see all those other season tabs. I don't know if you can see my desk. I have so many GPs from previous seasons of 2016, 2017. I need to upload into the website. I'll eventually get that going, though. But
yeah, and let us know what your guys' thoughts, what you're hoping to see, maybe what you thought was really interesting. I think it's been a pretty like diverse showing so far.
I think so.
It's been pretty cool.
And I think next weekend we'll do a ruler of the week, and I think we're going to surround it around the idea of epic stories, and see if we can find some interesting combos or things we can do in an epic stories deck.
I like that.
So next week will be kind of like an epic stories podcast, unless something crazy happens in Force of Will during the week, but I doubt that's going to happen. And it'll be our topic for next week.
That never happens.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to be in the point where we're waiting for a while to hear anything. But
that's what I literally said during the news last week.
Yeah, see, so I'm trying to fuel next week's podcast by being wrong. So, anyways, I know
I'm poking the big fate bear.
Yeah, I know that a lot of you are like questioning what Epic Stories is. We'll kind of go over it, what it is on that next podcast. So next week's Epic Stories podcast, and it'll be fun.
And if you guys want a primer, tcgscrubs.com homepage. Frank Kloster did an article about Epic Stories,
and it's a bunch of fun. So we'll see y'all guys next time.
See ya.
Woo.